I'm a multimedia artist who makes work about what it looks like to be Pacific in Aotearoa, particularly Ōtautahi, from my own experience of being a second generation New Zealand born Cook Islander. So because I have this knowledge system or all of this practice behind me, when it came to designing the costumes or the process of them, it was like, well, I already knew as soon as they go, right, this is what you're doing, I go, oh yeah, that's that. I'm not a designer. I wouldn't say that I'm that at all. I make art. For me, art is life. Life is practice. And so being is designing. I got asked to be part of the project by Why Not? Because I have so much appreciation and respect for Why Not as a collective. I think that what they do, particularly Jake, what they create is innovative and very much needed in our city. And so the biggest research, I suppose, was around what we could get our hands on, and also what kind of ethnicities or heritage we wanted to portray. I really wanted to have something that didn't quite belong anywhere. There's lots of different pieces that are based on different Pacific cultures. We have Cook Island eikatus, we have Cook Island titis, we have headpieces that could come from anywhere in a dance troupe. We have our skirts are based off Hawaiian dance costumes. There's things that are based off Tongan Tauvala. So it was more around what are kind of core themes that we can pull out of everywhere, or colours that are really important throughout the whole Pacific that we can put in that represent the energy of our people. We have a couple skirts that are made out of kirio, which are hibiscus plants that have been, made over many hours, and which we've been able to get from community. It was just about what could we find, collect, put together to make something that reflected that energy. I focused a lot on reds and yellows, and that's because they're ancestral colours. Red is ariki, red is chief, it is status. And so when you talk about, there's three ancestors in the play, and then Grandma Tala becomes an ancestor as well, is that people of importance had red. And so they needed to have that as well. And then equally the yellows and feathers. Feathers are really important, and the act of wrapping. So although you might not see it, the skirts all wrap around, and then there's other cords that wrap around, and they come back to me, the wrapping and the binding of material was how we would make things sacred. And so putting those kids on stage, the wrapping or and the binding of them in their costume is actually in a way of protecting them and giving them essential mana. And so that's what I thought about. I've had a great time spending a lot of time with our taonga, our artefacts, and so it was just kind of like, well, how do we put these into something we can wear? Yeah.